What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today we're jumping into some more Orcs Must Die Unchained. This time we're heading into the throne room with Cygnus. There we go. So as well, if you watched any of the previous videos, Cygnus is actually really solid as far as dealing a good amount of damage and keeping range. His shots get a little bit harder to land as you get further away from the enemies because they're projectiles, but all in all, they are pretty strong. Let me see here. Do I want to keep now? This is definitely set up for something like endless right now. We need this to be quick because you have a time limit on survival. Now, I think to be effective at this particular map, the best thing to do is to stack some heavy damage up front. Actually, let me put that over here. Burn everything. Don't even need the naphtha sprayer. It's not so much about increasing the burn damage as it is increasing the number of instances of burn that take place. Enemies that are going to be coming out include soldiers. They're the default enemies for the order, and their ability is to reduce damage after they get to a certain amount of health to about 20 points per tick. You can't do more than that except with a few rare damage boosting abilities, which Cygnus does possess, but it still won't do quite as much as just setting them on fire. So that is, of course, a good choice. Now, you can use ceiling traps here, but there's not a lot of space for it. So a combination of wall traps is probably the best thing to work with. If you're playing endless though, I would probably recommend a few ceiling traps, but not where we're at right now, so not going to worry about it. Last, I think we'll probably go with a grinder. And I think that should be it. Really not too many useful guardian locations here, but I am going to bring a stable hand and a priest. All right, so let's, yeah, those are good. This is not. Go ahead and take, yeah, feeling fierce. Fire reduction, and I don't really need that with Cygnus too much. Let's take the physical damage reduction and or physical cost reduction for traps, and we should be good. Everything's reduced that can be, and this is just a backup in case we ever are in short supply of mana. But yeah, good to go. Let's go ahead and get this started.
My prune juice this morning. Look out.
All right. So in the bats video, I pretty much went over most of Cygnus's abilities and upgrades. A lot of them are pretty freaking nice. But of course, there are some that are just going to be staple for survival. And those will be the ones that I'm basically going to stick with. I'm going to block this off here. That'll prevent, for the most part, anybody from coming back here. Now, what I did not do is I didn't bring the BGH Ballista, meaning that if we get a unstable rift in that corner where they can spawn, we're going to have some issues. So we're going to have to babysit this area a bit. And then these guys. This is one of the few gates that opens in the game that you can shoot out of. There's no purple aura sort of preventing things from happening there. So that's very beneficial. And I guess that's good enough to get started.
Enemy has opened a minion portal.
The only thing that I always dislike about this map is that because of that long path that the enemies sort of have to take before they actually spawn and get to the door, it kind of takes them a while for anything to be done. Alright, we're just going to set everybody on fire. And that's to make sure that the damage reduction effects don't affect too much of my mana and I actually get these guys killed. Alright, we also want to do that. Alright. So So for the first upgrade, I think for this group, I will actually take experienced. I'm probably going to wind up using Mini Master on this map just because instances of damage are important against soldiers. Can't block this off because I blocked the other area. That's fine. So luckily these guys' shields do them literally no good against traps. Killed them before I actually got the zap in. That was my fault. Usually I'll let the burning enemies just burn up. There's really no reason to waste additional attacks on them if their health is already low. Eventually we're going to put some things back here that will basically make sure that they're always handled. I really didn't need to use that yet, but my ability should refresh on the wave where the next gate is about to open, right here. Okay, so we want to trap this area up a bit.
That goes there.
We'll do a bit of this. We don't need to do too much. Save a little bit of coin for this next gate. We still need to barricade over here. Actually probably spent a bit too much already. Yeah, I did. Alright, goodbye grinder. And then we block off this side. So that way they don't have direct access to the throne room. They gotta run back here. And then we're gonna do that. It'll still take them a few seconds to actually break the gate here.
Our enemies have broken through again.
And a bit of fire actually does you a pretty solid amount of damage here. Alright, now I gotta basically run through these guys as fast as possible while not getting too far from my rift shard. Not really too worried about this guy. Oh, it's already gone. Alright, so I probably should move closer. Alright. They're for the most part dead, and now we get to deal with these guys here. Alright. We're going to take Mini Master like I said I would. I can summon it quickly enough now that I'm really not too worried about whatever happens to be moving quickly across everything. We're going to toss 2 more of these. And then we have to take those guys out quick because I don't have enough of pretty much anything over here to actually deal with them. I'm going to rely on my Guardian a bit to slow him down. Burn everybody. And we're going to try to save that mana mode. Alright, move up. Drop the fire again. So these guys should be getting pretty much toasted. You'll see some of them taking damage if they manage to get close to the rift. Alright. That speed buff is so nice.
Many minions, one lightning strike.
We still have a second wave coming behind them. Just wasting your time. You know, I honestly don't think the spikes are doing that much here. These full yet? This one is. And now that is 2. So we're going to move these up, turn these around, and then drop these back here. Now I am no longer moving fast enough to actually handle that boss. And we got an unstable rift near all of the important stuff where I have no traps. So we're going to unchain here. It didn't get too far, luckily. And I can blast this. can actually start setting this up. Actually, I probably should have put the slows over here, but either way, this will work out.
Good to be trapping again. I do love traps. That goes there.
Yeah, we can do it this way.
A zap for you, and you, and you.
I should just do that. The best thing to do about any sort of runners is try to get them in a position where they are in a single line. If you can shoot at them from an angle as they have to turn a corner, you will find that it benefits you greatly. Okay. So yeah, that's not as close to the gate as I would like it.
Our barricades are under attack.
Did they really go top? Okay.
Good to be trapping again.
That's kind of what we want.
They've destroyed our barricades.
And the barricade that they would have destroyed is the one at the top that allows them to walk through there. They won't break the other one back there easily. It takes a while. Okay, you can get shot. And then I can just replace this. Alright, now, lastly, go ahead, finish that off. And we got Pride Hunters too. But soldiers actually move significantly slower than regular orcs do. That's one of the reasons why they're so tanky. But because of that, you actually get to make sure that your traps are a bit more effective against them. But that's also the reason that you want dot traps, like they give you the time to use them. And I think that was intended by the devs. Okay. So here, and add a bit of burst damage, and then put another slow, spike one of these, and do this down the lane. Alright, so that's a ton of very reliable damage, I think. And then one of the good things about Cygnus just being super far range, especially with his lightning, is that you can essentially fight anywhere you can see. I mean, most ranged characters generally can, but Cygnus is actually pretty adept at it, because you want to be at a pretty decent range if you're not taking the experience debuff for summoning your Rift Shard, so that you can actually get it summoned. But, you know, being reckless and doing things like this.
They've destroyed our barricades.
Alright, not too many traps that we can actually just activate with Pylon Patriarch here, and I don't think I need to worry too much about reducing the damage that I take, so I'm going to take Ornery Oldtimer. It should help versus the handful of bosses and the heavy enemies on the map. I'm not really afraid of any of the things that'll be coming through here. The only thing that's ever really going to be an issue is time. And you can see, normally you do about 20 damage versus these guys. You can see because of the Rift Lord bonus there, as well as the 10% bonus damage from, I believe, one of my traits, Feeling Frisky. Is it Feeling Frisky? I think it is. Can't even think of the name correctly right now. But you get the double damage, and then you get the bonus 10% of whatever your base is. So because it gets reduced to 20, that turns into 42. Okay. They're going to blow up again the stuff at the bottom.
They've destroyed our barricades.
We have destroyed the unstable rift.
And there we go. Attacked whoever was at the front of the line and basically blew up everybody behind them. Whoa. And that's one of the issues that you'll run into with Cygnus if you don't summon the shard often enough and stay near it. Of course, because I've selected Mini Master, I'm actually running into an issue where it doesn't heal me as often as it would had I selected some other perk. So that's a unique issue. And also one of the reasons why I don't like picking Minimaster often. But it has some utility here versus some of the tankier, sturdy enemies.
The enemy's boss is dead.
But lightning also prevents you from basically ever having to deal with the firelings that come out as long as you are manually destroying the enemies. So that also has a ton of perks here. Also, I think because lightning is hit scan, it doesn't get thrown off by physics. If they're in the crosshair, the game sort of searches for them and makes sure that it lands. Whereas for projectiles, they don't always hit if an enemy is under physics effects.
Our barricades are under attack.
Oh, one of them escaped. Also, this is an amazing location if you're on anything that requires you to be safe. Fighting here, almost everything has to move in a straight line towards this path. Can actually do something like this.
Just like old times. Good spot for this.
I think that's good.
Old times.
That's just in case anything actually runs back there again. I can trap it up a bit more just to prevent me from having to actually fight everything. As enemies group up while they're running through things, if you can manage to kill them with the lightning, of course, you'll deal a ton of additional damage, especially if they happen to get flipped off of the floor scorcher for bonus physics. Alright, and just because more hits is beneficial in this situation, I'm going to take Get Off My Lawn. And that gives me the most chainable lightning that you will ever see in this game. 7 hits total. Okay, where is he coming from?
Watch out! An unstable rift is
The only problem here, whoa, I spun all the way around, is that you can't really shoot this from too many locations back there. Okay.
Our heroes destroyed the unstable rift, and there was much rejoicing.
You deal so much damage that it's really easy for Cygnus to take out any sort of mercenary. Everything's pretty much fair game for him. It's like a truck. Now, I think I need to have this done like pretty much now, or else I'm going to not be able to make par. Probably drop another Guardian if I get the chance. Do we have anything else happening here? I think this is it, but the last wave is super slow. And it's already starting. Yep, not gonna play dead on me. Now, if I had any sort of decent ceiling trap in the loadout, I could probably have dropped the floor spikes for it. I'll probably be doing a lot better here. Wow, something managed to hit me in like the half a second that it took for me to cast that. And you can just see, like, Cygnus makes numbers happen. And it's even better if you are in a place where you don't have to worry about summoning the Rift, because then you can take the other bonuses that are pretty much more powerful. Okay, these guys are dying before they even get around the corner. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make this. After Lysander dies, there's still about another 15 seconds for some other things to come up. He may not actually get anywhere, though. Only thing I have to worry about is the shield guys, and then whoever their backup is. And there we go. Just zap a few of them here. And as long as we can kill these bears and the two behind them, I think we're good. It's gonna be tight, but it's possible. Yep, we made it.
I still appreciate the little things.
That was close though. All the talking that I did with rebuilding the traps almost killed all of the spare time. But yeah, that map is actually fairly easy for Cygnus, especially if you use flame traps, and if you want to personally drop the floor spikes for something like pounders in that lower section, that'll probably handle that a lot better than what you saw me do here. And traps did a lot. Cygnus did a lot too, though. Alright, so throne room's done. We're going to move on to the restricted section. And the restricted section actually is probably pretty strong for Cygnus too, just because there's a lot of areas where you can force the enemies to pile up and basically just blow them out of the water with chain lightning explosions. So that'll work pretty well. But that's going to be it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, or you learned something, or you just all around liked it, feel free to hit that thumbs up. If there's anything that you guys want to say to me, anything that you want to recommend or request, feel free to drop that in the comments beneath the video. And until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and have a good one, folks.